Hello folks, and welcome back to the program. And today I cannot wait to go ahead and give you a glimpse of what I think of the latest release from she&him called Melt Away, a tribute to Brian Wilson. It's featuring some of Brian's and the Beach Boys' amazing hits and deeper tracks that hit our core feelings and what we feel and why we love the music of Brian Wilson the most. They hit it out of the park with their track selection. I can't wait to get into this thing and let you know all my thoughts, but before I do, consider checking out Manza Illustrations. It's in the description of this video. Believe you me, any creative idea you've got in your head, I can make it happen for you. We can make it happen for you with a little bit of direction. Commission pieces, birthday commission, t-shirt designs, graphic designs, children's books, what have you. Consider checking out Manza Illustrations today. Again, that link is in the descriptions below. That is how I am able to make this content for you guys and how I'm able to review such an album as she&him's new 2022 release. Stephanie and I had bought tickets to see she&him in Virginia. So any of you Virginia listeners, we no longer want to go to that show. We'll go to another show closer to us in Boston. So they released new tour dates. It's a whole thing. So on my social, check out my Instagram, message me, DM me for the tickets if you are interested. Really good, almost front row, really close to the stage seats. The tickets are a first come, first serve basis type of thing. If you message me and you want them, by all means, they're yours. I don't have them posted on eBay or Facebook or anything like that as of now. Just let me know if you want the tickets to she&him in September in Virginia. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It came from Amazon with no download card, no nothing, and I didn't expect anything. I didn't want anything. I just wanted the classic black vinyl of what came with this release. So you get this beautiful kind of inner sleeve, nice heavy cardboard with a very cool little graphic design element. On both sides you get the tracks on the other side and who is attributed to what track, and then produced by M. Ward, and thank yous. This is on Fantasy Records. Honestly, nothing beats a nice black vinyl. I still have yet to clean this, but side 1 and side 2 very similar. You just pop that back in there. And I want to read what's on the back here because I really loved what they wrote on the back. In the spring of 2020, we started a list of our favorite Brian songs, a very long list. We chose songs without any regard for their chart performance. The obscure ones hit us just as hard as more popular songs. And we are ripe for reimagining, reinterpreting, and reinventing. Brian writes songs of beauty and loneliness and vulnerability better than anyone, and by sequencing them next to popular songs of confidence and love and fun, it creates a more complete picture of life on Earth. Melancholic songs and juxtaposing them next to the fun and upbeat and big hits from Brian really creates a more complete picture of life on Earth, because that is what it is. It's sadness or euphoria in this world, and Brian brings that out and like no other artist. And she&him, they did such a good job at interpreting these songs and making them their own. So let's dive into the tracks and what I think about them. Right out of the gate, we've got a song called Darlin', one of the Beach Boys' biggest hits off of the Wild Honey album. This opening, when you hear it, tells us we're in for something fun and homespun. M. Ward takes the vocals with some acoustic accompaniment, laying a bed of beauty. And then Zooey's backing vocals come in, and it just becomes lush after that. Zooey shares the second verse, and then later on in the song, the key modulation at the end, just the icing on the cake to bring it up and lift our spirits. And then of course a nice vocal vamp at the end. Both she&him and the Beach Boys were famous for that kind of vocal vamp, layering sounds, music with voice. and making a whole complete package. Wouldn't It Be Nice from them is good, but it's never pushing things too far. I love the inclusion of harmonica and piano. It makes for a great southern kind of, they're drawing from a southern influence for this. The clean electric guitar sound brings that sort of country down home feel to this warm and enduring track. Excellent bass on Wouldn't It Be Nice. It sounds like it's it sounds like a Hofner, just it sounds like a smaller bass unit, and it's plucky. I enjoy the bass of Wouldn't It Be Nice in this. It didn't blow me away by any means, but it's certainly good fun all the same. Song ends with crowd applause, sort of insinuating that they're going to be playing this live, and this is what it's going to sound like. Real stripped back, not huge production that you'll find on Pet Sounds. This is not trying to be Pet Sounds. It's in trying to invoke a completely different vibe from it, and that's what she&him does best with their Christmas covers, their originals, and Beach Boys covers now too. I always knew they had it in them. Next up we have Till I Die from the Surf's Up album, early 1971 or 2 that came out. And Till I Die is not one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite Beach Boys songs, sure. They could have utilized that vibraphone that is so evident in the original backing track. They could have used that vibraphone to their advantage in making a lush, dreamy, warbling soundscape to it. Instead, we've got nice acoustic work with some pedal steel. That pedal steel is great, but it plays the same repetitive riff a little bit too much for me. They could have used vibraphone or another instrument to do that riff. It's just too much of the same. But then the vocals come in. And the vocals, no doubt, I don't have to say it, are always great. A little cool thing that happens here is we've got a trumpet kind of solo in the middle and end. That kind of brings on sort of a deserty, California desert feel. The trumpet really livens up the track. And of course, when they say, "How long will the wind blow?" you get a myriad of different sounds that happen when they say that. Listen for it. It kind of livens up the track a tiny bit, but what can I say? It wasn't a total favorite, and that song didn't blow me away, but it gets faster toward the end. The tempo just gets faster at the end. And when she says, "These things I'll mean until I die," these things I'll be until I die. It's very fast toward the end there. It's like the tempo went from slow and melancholic and rose us up a little bit with a more faster pace. And it worked. And being a huge Beach Boys fan, you hear that Deirdre. I was hoping for the beginning to just sound like... I don't even know how to describe it in words, how that sounds. When you hear Deirdre on the original Sunflower album from the Beach Boys, it begins with the word Deirdre sung in layers and layers and layers and layers of voices. It evokes sort of like a lo-fi kind of sound. But I was hoping, honestly, I was hoping for that from she&him, but that never happened. They didn't open the song with the word Deirdre sung like that. They instead do something so much different. And it works. It's flowing and beautiful, layered with a lot of harmony. They do a lot of different things with their covers, and I appreciate that. Deirdre was a standout. I loved that song originally. I love that song now from she&him. Definitely a staple. I love how the little flourishes in between the verses are still there. They embrace them. That whole sound. Every song by she&him that they do sounds fun, and Deirdre is no exception to that. One of the best songs on the album, Melt Away from she&him. I certainly appreciate the triangle break in the middle of the track for Melt Away, but geez, they're taking it so seriously and making it into something way, way more deeper than it ever needed to be. Melt Away is a classic Brian Wilson solo track from 1988, which I love, but they just bring it into a whole nother realm with this. The tone of the voice, the tone Zooey has is moving and passionate, while also flowing and easygoing, and it just calms you down and kind of even brings a tear. At the end, the strings and the timpani sound that I'm hearing really brings a nice classic charm to the track. Melt Away was one of my favorites on this, and I couldn't wait to hear it on the album. It delivered full stop. Up next we have Good to My Baby. It's like odd to hear these songs not done the original way. You've heard these songs so many times from the Beach Boys, and it starts out with Good to My Baby, starts that song, Good to My Baby. And to not hear that, and it's called Good to My Baby, and it's the Beach Boys classic, it's just jarring, but like I get right into it after I'm like, okay, so that's not happening with this. Okay, all right, I'm down, I'm with it. Incredible guitar on Good to My Baby from M. Ward. He is one of the best guitar players that we have. Underrated, underappreciated. His guitar work, amazing. And I appreciate the faster tempo. It brings the song up a little bit. It almost sounds like they're rushing almost, but it's fun. It's fun to hear. It's faster by a few paces than the original. And it just makes for a, again, fun-loving kind of track. Brings kind of different context to how I saw this song. She changes the hers to his because it's her singing. So her baby is he. So it's interesting to hear that a he instead of her. Next up we have Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. Now I am really partial to that track, not only because it's my wedding song, but it was a song that really, really touched me in a deep, deep way. It's just so simple in its approach, but so deep in just the words. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. It's simple as that. You don't need to say all these words. We don't need to talk about all this stuff. Just do what you feel, and we'll be there for it. Just feel it out. Just be still and just feel my heartbeat. And just know that it's there for you. That's all that means. That's the best kind of track. A ton of pedal steel work in this adds for a good backdrop in making that kind of like spacey kind of feel. That double time on the hi-hat really moves us along, and that helps kind of reinvent the track. It's a beautiful vocal, but it drags a little bit at the end with the don't talk, put your head on my shoulder over and over. It just drags a little bit with the tempo they're doing and the instrumentation. Instrumentation isn't all that layered, so it drags a tiny bit. What can I say though? I mean, this is a fantastic track otherwise. And might I say, listen for the drums at the end of Don't Talk. That's a fantastic brush drum technique. Really, really nice to calm the spirit. Up next is Don't Worry Baby. M. Ward starts out singing, and we've got Zooey doing background vocals, but what I did notice with Zooey's background vocals is she either had a faster tempo in her headset than the rest of the track. Her background vocals come in like a half step too early. Her Don't Worry Baby doesn't drop right when it should. It drops like a second before, and it's faster than the rest of the track, and it's noticeable. That's the only thing I'll say that's negative. Otherwise, incredible song. That middle instrumental bridge just brought me right out of what I was thinking about with the vocals, and it is beautiful. That middle instrumental bridge on Don't Worry Baby, look out for it. Incredible soundscape with it. I appreciate that glockenspiel with the strings. I hear it. I heard it at the end there, and they're doing something. They're going for something, and I am here for it. That glockenspiel was so twinkly at the end of that. I loved it. Next up, This Whole World, and This Whole World ends up being one of my favorites so far on this album. I heard that, and I'm like, wow, look at what they did with This Whole World. A short track from Sunflower, but they expand upon it, and it's finally a full-blown nice track to listen to. Very enjoyable. Layering of the sound is perfect with the vocals as well. They bring this sort of descending kind of melodic chorus. It's descending, and that's different than the original. Totally cool. Totally was listening to that and enjoying that. I love the song, wished it was longer, and they make it longer, so thank you. That's great. Next up, Kiss Me Baby. Now, Kiss Me Baby is my favorite Beach Boys song. Kiss Me Baby is my favorite Beach Boys song from 1965's The Today album. We have a very sweet intro. Keyboards make sort of a retro ambience going on in the background in the intro and the verses, and I appreciate it. It's a shared vocal, and what I will say is the new chords that they're using in the pre-chorus, and I wonder As it got light, tossed and I turned, my head was so heavy. That part, new chords underneath it, don't hit the same, don't resonate. That part is my favorite part in that song. It's melancholic and evokes like tears when I hear it. Something with the music and the production and the chords and how they go along with the verses in the voice. The tone of the voice with the chords underneath, the production underneath is what brings tears. And this didn't bring tears in that part, and I didn't expect it to, but you know, sort of underwhelmed with Kiss Me Baby. They bring it in the chorus, but they don't do the kiss a little bit, fight a little bit, kiss a little bit, oh baby. They got rid of that part, which is like half of the genius of the song is that layering and that kind of feel. Unless I didn't hear it, but I certainly thought I would have heard it more clearly. And again, that pre-chorus like just could have hit so much harder and been taken so much more, you know, with gentler gloves to make sure that hits home before we get to the chorus. There is, though, an interesting little acoustic outro going on in Kiss Me Baby. Listen out for it, listen for it. If you hear it, you'll enjoy it. It's good. Honestly, this version of Do It Again made me fall in love with the song that I previously wasn't in love with. I never really liked Do It Again all too much from the Beach Boys, but this version made me fall in love with the track. I love the synth work, the kind of 80s retro vibe they're going for is so there, but it's mixed with like a late 70s backing track too. It's there and it moves along. It's great, that track. Next up is Heads You Win, Tails I Lose. And you're like, Heads You Win, Tails I Lose? That's like an old throwback from the Beach Boys. How's that gonna sound? How is that gonna sound? Well, listen to it. Listen to it. Such a different vibe brought on from this track, like out of the blue. It's like they're really having fun with it. Again, with the 80s experimental kind of classic retro vibe they're getting from the synths. Just listen to that. It's such an interesting version of a otherwise somewhat simple, you know, what was that, on Surf and Safari, Head You Win, Tails I Lose. That is incredible. A really great version of it. Really having fun with the kind of vocal back and forth. M. Ward his vocals very distorted, and so is Zooey's in your left speaker. So they kind of just go back and forth. Head You Win, Tails I Lose, it's great. It sounds very different. Something unlike you've probably ever heard that be sung, or anything like that, to be honest, because nobody really covers that song. Next is Please Let Me Wander. And they, again, really take this song seriously, just like Melt Away. They take this song and elevate it to the sky is the limit for it. This song is my second favorite on the album, aside from Melt Away. It's slow and gentle in its approach to the melody, and then we finally do get that great vibraphone and keyboard outro in the instrumental part of the backing track. Just beautiful with Please Let Me Wander. The lyrics, this rendition brings out those lyrics like you never heard them before, sung differently, and it's just a really, really, really solid version of it. We end with a song on the album Friends by the Beach Boys, the opening track of Friends, actually, called Meant For You, sung by Mike Love, and in this version it's a minute and 30 seconds, sung by Zooey. She's singing beautifully, very simple lyrics, but really deep lyrics. As I sit and close my eyes, there's peace in my mind, and I'm hoping that you find it too. And these feelings in my heart, I know, are meant for you. That is incredible. A song that I do wish was longer, and Mike Love does as well. I know he wished it was longer. It could have been something good, but as we have it, it's just a great either intro song or outro song to end something. And I do wish that they kind of played with the that kind of that. If you've heard the original song, that they do another like layering of vocals and harmony that play and interweave with each other, and Zooey doesn't do that on this version. It's more simple, but what can I say? That's the perfect way to end the album. This was a great album. Don't sleep on this album. What can I say? Don't sleep on picking up this record. Pick it up. There are a myriad of different color renditions. I again went for the black vinyl version. There's no better. I'm gonna enjoy this till I die. This is just incredible to have. Can't wait to add this to my Beach Boys collection. Again, I always knew She and Him had it in them to do this. I always wanted that from them. I knew how the connection with the Beach Boys, I knew how deep that Beach Boys connection kind of ran with them and Zooey, and it comes out in every one of their original works. I hear it. So I always thought that they had it in them to make some sort of compilation of Beach Boys songs and Brian Wilson tracks in this case, and they knocked it out of the park with it. Is it a solid A+? It's close. It's darn near close an A+ for me. I'm gonna give it a B+, B+ album with some really good stuff. I mean, this is not going to sound like Pet Sounds. This is not going to be any kind of Pet Sounds take. This is She and Him, a two-piece, stripped back, homespun, but loving every minute of it band. And they really pack a punch. I cannot wait to see them soon enough. Again, hit me up for the tickets if you want those tickets. They're in Virginia in September, and I have tickets, 2 tickets, really good seats. Reach out to me if you want them. I have to move these tickets at some point. So with all that said, all my thoughts are out there in the world. You can find me lounging to a melody on Melt Away by She and Him. Take care, folks. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, folks, for tuning into this episode. If you do feel so inclined as to follow me on social media, you may gladly do so at Manza Media Art and Manza Media on every other platform. If you like prints, I've got an Etsy shop where you can see some of my original artwork and fan artwork. I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Manza Media.